Welcome back, students. So in the previous session, we have discussed about the algae, what are the reproduction, up to reproduction in algae we have completed. There were 3 methods of reproduction can be seen in algae, that is vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation, asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of zoospores, and if zoospores means they are flagellated and they are motile. If any structure which have the flagella, it will have the motility. Okay, so zoospores on germination, it develops into a new thallus. Then sexual reproduction, that is sexual reproduction takes place by the fusion of 2 gametes, and based on this nature of these gametes, there are 3 kinds of sexual reproduction gametes can be seen, that is isogamous, anisogamous, oogamous. Isogamous, here the gametes are similar kind. The fusion takes place between the 2 gametes which are similar in nature, that is isogamous. It is found in the example of Chlamydomonas. It is flagellated. In case of Chlamydomonas, you can see they'll have the flagella like these structures can be seen. So it is flagellated. But in case of Spirogyra, they do not have the flagella. That are the 2 types of isogamous. Anisogamous means if the 2 gametes are it is not similar, okay, then it is called as anisogamous. Example is Chlamydomonas. Then oogamous kind of fusion takes place if the 2 gametes are dissimilar in that female gamete is large and non-motile, whereas male gametes are comparatively small and motile. And this type of fusion can be seen in the algae, volvox and fucus. Okay, so this is about the reproduction in algae. Next, let us understand the uses of algae. How algae are useful. You know about the algae uses, and nowadays very highly used, okay, and many of the products also obtained from the algae. And very most important thing is that in the ocean they are the major producer of oxygen. Okay, so uses of algae, I'll add here uses of algae. What are the uses of algae? First one, okay, then about the carbon dioxide, since they are autotrophs, they have the capacity to fix the carbon dioxide, right? Yes. So half of the 50% of carbon dioxide fixation takes place by this algae. Okay. Half of total carbon dioxide fixation. Okay, half of the total carbon dioxide fixation on Earth is carried by the algae. So half of the total carbon dioxide fixation on Earth is carried out by algae itself. So we are discussing now how algae is useful in variety of ways to man. Second useful activity or useful nature of the algae is that they are the major, they increase the dissolved oxygen. It's the level of dissolved oxygen in their immediate environment, as why they are able to increase the level of dissolved oxygen, because as they are autotrophic. Since they are autotrophic, they can increase the level of dissolved oxygen in their immediate environment. This is the second use of algae. Then third algae use is that they are the primary producers Right, you can accept this. Algae is the primary producers, right? If you take the a simple food chain, you know that it starts with a plant. So a being algae is a photosynthetic. They also have a important role in completing a food chain. For example, on some moist rocks and all, algae can be seen. Those algae are the food for the heterotrophic animals which found on that in their environment. So likewise, they also very important in completing the food chain. So they are the primary producers of energy rich compounds. They are the primary producers of energy rich compounds which forms the basis of food chain, okay, which forms the basis of food cycles of all aquatic animals. Okay, they are the primary producers of energy rich compounds which forms, please complete some of the words if it is left, okay, which forms the basic basis of all the aquatic food chain. So they are the basis for the food cycle of all the aquatic animals. And some of the algae are edible. Okay, some of the algae are edible. Example is Porphyra. Okay, some algae can be used as edible, that is their marine algae, Porphyra, Laminaria, and Sargassum. These three also, they are marine. They are found in marine water, but they are used as marine edible algae. That means that can be used as food. And you know, they are very good in protein content. They are very rich source of protein. So they are very useful as food as well as. Then what else the uses of algae you can see. Then also some of the algae, marine algae, are able to produce some water holding substances which can be used for the transshipment, because some of the substance which has to be maintained in the aquatic condition itself, or in the has to be maintained in the moist condition and all, those for transportation of such products, for packing those materials, this algae can be used. So algae can be used for the certain marine and red algae produce large amounts of certain marine red algae can produce a large amount of hydrocolloids. Hydrocolloids means the substance which have the water holding substances. You can substance which can hold the water. Water holding substances are called as hydrocolloids, and it is prepared from the which algae? It is having that hydrocolloids are produced by the red algae, marine red algae. For example, algin. You can expect a question from this. Algin is obtained from, okay, algin, and also it is produced by the brown algae, and keratin is obtained by red algae. Algin is produced by brown algae, keratin is produced by the red algae. Okay, so we were discussing about the uses of algae. So here one of the important uses is that marine red algae has a capacity to produce a substance, that is hydrocolloids. Hydrocolloids means water holding substance. Example is algin, which is produced by the brown algae. Keratin is produced by the red algae. You are going to study further classification of algae. In that you will study that algae is of three kinds are there: green algae, brown algae, red algae. So in that we are discussing. So if you find some confusing, just clear it. Okay, that is 3 classes of algae: brown algae, red algae. So we will study the examples also. By the time you will get clear. Now next use of algae is agar. Agar is a medium, like a jelly kind of medium used for growing the microorganisms in the lab. In the microorganisms, mainly for the microbiologist, also study some of the bacteria or virus, all those. Usually, some microorganisms can be grown using the plate. Okay, so that plate is prepared using agar. Okay, so agar is a substance which is of one of the commercial products which is obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria. Agar is a substance or commercially useful products obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria. You have to remember this name of the algae from which each substance commercially useful products are obtained. Now edible algae, Porphyra, Laminaria, Sargassum. Hydrocolloids, that is algin and carrageen, it's produced by brown algae and red algae. Agar, it is a commercial useful products obtained from species of algae like Gelidium and Gracilaria. Algae is used in the lab for growing the, or for the, where it is used. Yes. Algin is, yes, agar is used for grow microbes and in the preparation of ice creams and jellies. Remember, agar is not only used, I said only used for growing the microbes in the lab. Not only for growing the microbes in the lab, it also used for the preparation of ice creams. Most of you like the ice cream, right? So that ice creams cannot be completed without the algae. The preparation of algae ice creams also require algae, and that is, what is that? Agar is used in the preparation of ice creams then and jellies. From which algae it is produced? Agar is produced from the Gelidium and Gracilaria. So agar is one of the useful commercial products obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria. It is used to grow microbes, and in the preparation of, it is also used in the preparation of ice creams and jellies, and also used to grow the microbes. In the lab, it is used for growing the microbes. So that is another. Then next, another aspects, useful aspects of algae is that it is rich in protein. That is spirulina and chlorella. They are the algae which are rich in protein. So it is used as a food by the space travelers. You know, the space travelers, they have to spend a lot of time in space, so they're difficult for them to collect the food what is obtained from our in the usual condition than Earth. So here they find difficult to collect the food and all. So they use this spirulina and chlorella as a protein supplement because they're very rich in protein. So that's why it is used as a food in the space travelers. So they are, chlorella and spirulina are unicellular algae rich in protein and used as food supplement by the space travelers. It is used as a food supplements by the space travelers. Students, in this portion, some 1 mark question used to come. Name the algae which is used in the preparation of agar, or name the substance by which the ice creams and jellies can be prepared. Name the algae which is used for the preparation of ice creams and jellies. It is Gelidium and gracilaria. Or name some of the edible algae. So algin is obtained from, keratin can be obtained from. So this is how question can be asked. So you have to remember their uses as well as remember their products it is obtained. Okay, so we have completed now the uses of algae. So I'll repeat once again the uses of algae. Algae are useful to man in variety of ways. One of the major importance of these algae is that they are the total amount, whatever the carbon dioxide, you know that plants are able to fix the carbon dioxide since they are autotrophic. So here algae, almost 50% of the total carbon dioxide what is present in the atmosphere or in the biosphere are fixed by this algae, because algae can be seen in many places as well as in oceans and all. So they have a great role in fixing the carbon dioxide. So indirectly they are helpful in reducing the pollution. Then algae, being they are autotrophic, they can increase the level of dissolved oxygen in their immediate environment. And some of the algae are edible. Okay, so it is edible algae are Porphyra, laminaria and sargassum. Then some of the algae are used as hydrocolloids, that is water holding capacity they have. Then next some of the algae are used, the agar which is obtained from Gelidian gracilaria is used in the preparation of ice creams and jellies, as well as it is also used to grow the microbes in the lab. Then some of the algae, that is spirulina and chlorella, as they are unicellular algae, they are very rich in protein, so it is used as a food supplements by the space travelers. So next we'll start with the subclasses of algae, how algae is divided into further subclasses. There are 3 subclasses are there. Okay, algae is divided into 3 subclasses, that is Chlorophyceae, then Phaeophyceae, then Rhodophyceae. Again getting tensed seeing the terms. Students, don't get tensed. Okay, be cool. It's nothing but it's a biological name for the different algae. What are the biological name? So Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Now their common name is that green algae, Phaeophyceae is a brown algae, then Rhodophyceae is a red algae. This is a common name for these 3 subclasses of algae. So now next onwards, let us understand about the each classes in detail. Okay, so one more thing, in your textbook there is already one diagram I have shown you. This diagram you have to draw in your notebook while writing the each classes. Okay, when you are writing the features of each classes, below you draw this diagram. Now you see green algae is drawn with it's colored with the green color itself. So likewise you also use that color, so it will be easy for you to remember. Green algae means below you should write here. Okay, Volvox, Chlamydomonas, Chara. Then this is example for brown algae. This is an example for red algae. Now here in this table, there is a table is given showing the comparison of algae of different classes with their main characteristic features. This is important. This table is important. So you should also write that table in your notebook. Send along with the assignment. Now, so we'll start with the Chlorophyceae. Ready? So Chlorophyceae is also called as green algae. Why it is called as green algae? Because it is green in color, right? Because members of Chlorophyceae is commonly called as green algae. Here, when you are studying each types of algae, there are some characteristic features you can use in common. Okay, so first you can write common name. Common name already I have written here. It is green algae. Then next about their habitat. Then next about their size. Then next about their nature of chloroplast or some cellular features. Then next also you can take the characteristics features of their reproduction. So likewise, each classes of algae, luckily you have only 3 classes, right? It's a good thing. Otherwise, again, you have to study a lot. So here, let us start with their habitat. Habitat, already said, all these algae are completely aquatic. Then they are plant body. We'll start with their size. Okay, plant body is unicellular in case of Chlamydomonas. Then multicellular in other cases like volvox and other examples for that. Unicellular in case of Chlamydomonas, colonial in case of volvox, then filamentous in case of Spirogyra. This is the same information what we have discussed in the beginning of algae features. So same thing, because you can see, remember that 3 diagrams. One is with the circle, one is with the small with the flagella, and one more with the plant-like. So here the plant, this category of algae can be unicellular in case of Chlamydomonas, then colonial in case of, colonial in case of volvox, then filamentous in case of Spirogyra. So these are the various form. Then next let us understand about their color. So what is the color? Usually you can see they are green in color. Usually Chlorophyceae looks green in color. Why it looks green in color? Because of the presence of chlorophyll A and B. They have the major pigments in their body is that chlorophyll A and B. You know, chlorophyll can exist in various forms. A, B, C, D. Like that forms are there, which gives various colors to the plant. So it is usually green in color because of the predominant presence of the pigments called as chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Then about their pigments. This pigments means which gives color, already I said, right? So they are located on the chloroplast. That pigments can exist in various forms, various shapes. Okay, so what are the various types of chloroplast? So chloroplast may be the shape of the chloroplast. They may be discoid, that means disc-like. If the discoid means it is type of it looks like a disc, then it can be reticulate, some twisted type. Then sometimes they look like a cup-shaped. Then some of them look like a cup-shaped, then reticulate. Okay, so they may look like discoid, they may look like plate-like, they can look like cup-shaped, some of them look like spiral or ribbon-shaped. These are the types of chloroplast can be seen. Spiral or it can look like a ribbon. Ribbon means you know that, like this form. Okay, so discoid means it will look like in this form. Okay, then reticulate means again it will look in the twisted form. So that is how the chloroplast can occur in this green algae in various form. That is what cup shape. They can be in reticulate, they can be in discoid or reticulate. Now food is stored in this green algae. How the food is stored? Now another major difference with these 3 types of algae is the nature of food stored in it. Food is stored in the different forms. For example, in green algae, it is stored in the form of pyrenoids. In other case, it will be stored in the form of laminarin. So that terms little tough. It sounds little tough, but just at the end of this classification of all the classes once we study, I'll give some clue or tricks to remember these three types of algae and their characteristic features. Now, food is stored in the form of pyrenoid. Food is stored. I'm discussing about the chlorophyceae, okay? So it continues from here. Food is stored in the form of pyrenoids. So in chlorophyceae, food is stored in the form of pyrenoids. So they have one or more storage body and it is located in the chloroplast itself. These pyrenoids, it is found in the chloroplast itself. Okay, so it may have one or more storage body called pyrenoids located in the chloroplast. So this specialty of these pyrenoids is that it contains proteins. We said already the protein, these algae can be used as food. Some of them contains proteins. Along with the starch, they also contains proteins. That's why it is named as pyrenoids. So food is stored in the form of pyrenoids. Pyrenoids name is because it contains proteins along with the starch. These pyrenoids are the food storing substance found in the green algae located in the chloroplast. Okay, so like these structures can be one or two may be there in the green algae. Okay, some algae may store food in the form of oil droplets. Okay, one form by which the food is stored in the form of, one example, pyrenoids. And some of the old algae are there which comes under the green algae will store food in the form of oil droplets also. That means they can store fat also. Okay, this is how we can support that algae can be used as food. Now next let us understand about their cell wall. Since it is green in color and all, the cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose and pectin. They also contains, cell wall is made up of a rigid cellulose. It forms a rigid cell wall. The cell wall is made up of cellulose, which gives a rigidity to their cell. So rigid cell wall is due to the presence of cellulose, and also they contain another substance called as pectose, which makes their cell wall hard. Okay, so this is the cell wall features of red algae. So it has a inner cellulose, inner layer of cellulose, which is makes the cell wall rigid, and outer layer of pectose. So this is the two components present in the green algae. So name the component present in the cell wall of green algae. It is cellulose, inner cellulose, and outer layer is made up of pectose. Now the same thing, reproduction in algae, in the green algae, same fragmentation, then asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction also seen in here. So asexual reproduction, fragmentation is by, vegetative reproduction is by the formation of fragments, then also spores. Then asexual reproduction is carried out by the formation of zoospores. Sexual reproduction is carried out by isogamous and anisogamous and oogamous. So I'm not going to teach again that types of reproduction. That is same as you have learnt in the beginning of algae features. So these are the features of algae. So in today's class, we have discussed about the classes of algae. 3 classes are there: Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae, and Rhodophyceae. And in the Chlorophyceae, we have understood their features and all. It is unicellular in case of Chlamydomonas, colonial in case of Volvox, filamentous in case of Spirogyra. Then color is green due to the predominance of pigments chlorophyll A and B. Remember this, only chlorophyll A and B is there, nothing else. If you go with another class, there will be something else, pigments also there, some other pigments also there. Then chloroplast can exist in form of discoid, reticulate, cup-shaped, spiral or ribbon-shaped. These are the microscopic view. Then food is stored in the form of pyrenoids, which contains proteins along with the starch.